In 2015, our next speaker's company made just over 5,000 sales calls and closed over $50 million in digital and television revenue for their client partners. His first book, Engaged Management, Volume 1, Inspiring Your Team to Win, was an Amazon bestseller. Photo op. Thank you. This year marks the 11th year he has attended the NAB Small Market Television Exchange, and he continues to believe that this conference is still the absolute best annual event in broadcasting. And I agree. Please join me in welcoming back the president of Jim Doyle and Associates, John Hannon.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Can I get through here? Yeah, doing good. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you. How you doing? Thank you for that warm welcome. Why do I have to come from over here? Nobody said those are the rules. Why do we follow that all the time? Just come in. Actually, the real reason I did that is because I'm vertically challenged, and I watched Jim Doyle and Tom Ray walk out in the audience. I just wanted to feel what that was like, but I couldn't see over everybody. Okay, well that's a bust. It's Ignite. Was it a good day? Light my fire. Come on. All right, look, Ann came back to me just a second ago, and she said, John, the free bar opens right after you're done. What I need you to do is just speed it up a skosh. Can you just crunch it together just a little bit? I aim to please. So here's the deal. Tom Ray and I went to the same speaking school, and we believe in brevity. So I broke my whole presentation down. I cut out 46 minutes of my presentation in order to give you these 10 words so you understand exactly what we have to do, right? It's very simple. Get your team to sell more stuff, and you make more money. Thank you. Not so fast. We have had, we've got a pretty good business. How do I know this? It's because of the extensive unscientific research that I did when I saw an ad from the South Bend Tribune newspaper. Hang with me here. It was about the time that this commercial was popular.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
I love that. I love that. See, here's what happened. Kmart decided to invest in television and not spend in newspaper, and so they stopped their inserts. Well, the South Bend Tribune said, we don't appreciate that. So they put their own ad in the newspaper that said, hey, look, Kmart's chosen to hold their insert from you. They took it a little further here. When a weekly advertiser chooses to deny our readers, we believe communicating that fact to our readers is critical. You got them on their heels, right? Who would do this? That would be like a TV station advertising, the car dealer's not putting his commercials out this week. We're sorry you aren't going to see his sale. Nobody would do that. They should have put together an anti-TV, right? But no, they went after the client. That tells me they're afraid. But we can get better, can we not? Absolutely. So account executives, I have 3 tips for you today. Managers, these 3 tips apply to you as well because I'm certain not all of your account executives are here. These are just 3 things, a lot of them very basic, that I want to recommend to you that you need to do to improve your sales, to ignite your sales with back to basics thinking. Ready? Thank you for that. Ready? Should we just open the bar now? I don't know. It's not. All right, number 1, account executives. Your approach is absolutely outdated. It's almost embarrassing. You want to know why you aren't getting the appointments with prospects? Here's why. This is how you're trying to get the appointment. You can't do this. Absolutely 100%. You cannot waste a client's time. They're upset about having to re-educate you about their business. You have to have a valid business reason. You have to have a little bit of a hook when you're trying to get in to see them. Let's say you want to come in, you want to talk digital. I would simply say to the advertiser, instead of, I want to learn about your business. No, I'm going to say, I've been looking at your social media, I've been looking at your digital. You have a vulnerability. I see a hole. I see that there's an opportunity for your competition to jump in there. How's your Tuesday schedule look so I can come over and speak with you? Right? So I don't care what it is. You guys figure out what it is. Is it they aren't mobile optimized? If that's the case, that's what you're going to present. But advertisers are aggravated. They don't want to waste their time with you if you aren't educated on their business. Don't believe me? It is Throwback Thursday, is it not? On Throwback Thursday, I went to the Jim Doyle & Associates Testimonial Bank. You may have seen this before. It's an attorney in Flint, Michigan, Bob Dietrich. Here's what he has to say about the topic.
I had a radio station the other day said they wanted to come in and do a meet and greet. I don't want to do a meet and greet. I'm not going to do a meet and greet. I'm not trying to tell you how I do business or what I do for recreational activities. I'm not looking for a friend. This is business, okay? I want somebody who can show me something that they can do for me. Because I'm not going to spend a lot of time with people that are going to just take my time. We have to get to the punchline. What's the bottom line? Now, it may take 2 visits. That's fine. But I'm not really interested in establishing a long-term friendship here.
Bob has no capacity for more friends. Can we agree? If you are going in as an account executive and you are saying, how many locations do you have? How many employees? How long have you been in business? Out. You're wasting my time. You need to do the research. But doing the research, you got to get credit, right? So I'm going to walk in, I'm going to say, hey, Bob, you got 4 locations, you have 72 employees, you've been around for 27 years. Is that accurate? That's what my research tells me. Am I right? I'm getting a good feel. This one may be a little different, Bob may think. But there's more. What's the biggest complaint you think that I hear when I travel the country from advertisers? Very simply, sellers don't understand my business. Sellers don't understand my business, right? Managers, be honest with yourself. Do you circulate this stuff on the floor? You circulate this kind of stuff, this industry stuff to your account executives, right? We're trying to learn about TV, are we not? It's my impression, my frustration, quite honestly, that we spend entirely too much time talking about TV and learning about TV and learning about our stations and our toolbox, and we don't learn enough about the businesses, right? So wouldn't it make sense to minimize the distribution of these kind of items, right? And begin to circulate the American Bar Association Journal? How about law.com? How about Furniture Today? Automotive News, Consumerist, heating and air conditioning business, bathroom remodeling period. Or why won't you sign up for the FDA site where they're going to tell you about the newest devices, the newest medicines, the newest whatever? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense? Because sellers don't know enough about my business. Or maybe if there was just a show that would tell you about healthcare, that would be phenomenal. Or if there was like a website, an interactivity that you could go to, it would be phenomenal for our business that would do a deep dig into every category. That would be just wonderful if there were such a thing. I move on. Here's a very solid tip for account executives if you aren't doing this, because it was incredible for me as an account executive a couple of years ago, right? Get vertical. Figure out a category that suits you. Get into a category that you enjoy, get into a category that has a future, and get vertical in the category. Here's what I mean by that. By doing so, you get an education. My first vertical category was chiropractors. I went to the first chiropractor, didn't know a lot about the chiropractor business. By the time I got to the 3rd chiropractor, I understood subluxation, I understood a little bit about vertebrae. By the time I got to the 5th chiropractor, I had graduated from Life College, I could crack your back and bill your HMO. See, you get an education each time. Sellers don't know enough about my business. Well, you begin to understand the business. You become an expert, you become a professional when you get vertical inside a category. The closing ratios go up, the prospecting opportunities go up, the referrals go up. It only makes sense, right? So I'm sitting there in the chiropractor's office, Dr. Moore's office, and I'm looking at the magazine rack, and I see a little badge on the bottom of the magazine racks, and it says, magazines, courtesy of Dyer, Groff, Mann & Schultz, attorneys at law. Whoa, wait a minute. God forbid you're in a wreck. What do we need? A tow truck, a chiropractor, maybe an attorney. That's when it struck me. This is our job. Our job is to build bridges between complementary businesses. So if you were to gather a chiropractor to lunch, you invite the attorney to lunch, you explain why you thought it was important for both of them to be together, As this relationship progresses, this business triangle, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, who did they think of bringing them together? You. You. Number 2 for account executives. Steve, I apologize, and you'll see why in just a second. Want to help me fill this in? How to get? No! We've changed it. No more past the gatekeeper. See, there was a time when a decision maker only had to talk to 2, 3, maybe 4 of you. Now it's dozens upon dozens, right, of folks banging on the door. So as a result, they surround themselves with maybe a gatekeeper, maybe a couple of gatekeepers, a whole team, right? The problem is we spend so much time trying to figure out how to get past the gatekeeper when we should be figuring out how to get beside the gatekeeper. Sales is no longer a sales opportunity to 1 or 2 individuals inside the building. It's a 3, 4, 5 individual sale inside the building. If you can help the gatekeeper understand how they're going to be the hero, and use those words, I promise, you get me to the decision maker, I will make you the hero. If you can get them to understand that, they're going to take you into the decision maker because they've got some game. They've got something in this to win. But you have to make them feel that you're different, right? By the way, when you get to the decision maker, who is that? Who is the decision maker? How do we define that? Anybody? This is the person that can trump everybody else with a yes. Is an agency ever a decision maker? No, no. Agencies come and go. It drives me absolutely batty when an agency says to somebody, well, don't go see my client. Excuse me? Call me crazy, but 3rd grade math tells me you get 15%, we get 85%, so who's the client belong to? Right? So how do you differentiate? I can't tell you that. I don't know your markets. I can tell you that it better be something different than everyone else in the marketplace is doing. You better have confidence, you better service, you better stick out like a green apple in a bushel full of oranges. You have to, because you have to get noticed because there's so much clutter right now. You have to do things that other reps aren't doing to make the client happy and to make you memorable so that you get the business. The buying cycle is much, much longer now, and you can be kicked out at any time on this buying cycle. Again, you're trying to sell 3, 4, 5 individuals inside the building. It's a methodical process, but the key here is to close something with every single appointment so that you can progress to the next level and get that security. What do we talk about going back to what got us to the dance, right? We talk about local direct. National's not going to make up the business for us. Is Leo in here? National's not going to make up the business, right? Regional is only to the region if it's good. So it's got to be local. Do you know what ruined this business? Fax machines. It used to be a time when we go to see buyers and we do the dance and we go, you want to buy this, you want to buy this? Someone else come in and do the dance and then they go, oh, let's see, I like Bill. Bill dances better and I like his stuff, so they give you the money. Then this fax machine came along and they say, just fax over your stuff. And you didn't get to do the dance. Then email. And now, programmatic. You on board with this just yet? Account executives, there is a day when you're going to walk in on Monday, 3, 4, 5, or more of your best accounts are going to be gone. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because this process is automated, it's driven by data, and it's coming to your marketplace. So the reasons that we're spending so much time on getting back to what got us to the dance, the reason we spend so much time on getting to the decision maker and having local conversations is your insurance policy against these losses when programmatic comes on. And it's going to happen. You're totally out of the process. There is nothing that you can do to stop that. Rupert Murdoch says that it's no longer the big eat the small. It's the fast beat the slow. You can be the biggest company in the world, but if you aren't out there having conversations with people that count and decision makers, and the smaller folks are, you're going to lose the money. So that, in my mind, is an even playing field for everybody in the room, regardless of what kind of leverage you may think you have by group size or lack of group size, lack of leverage. The fast beat the slow. Anybody email in here? Ever? Look, managers, I know you walk around and you say at the end of every month, what's the story on this account that I've asked you about for 3 months now and you still don't have any business from them? AEs, I know you're sitting there hoarding accounts. And you're saying to the manager, well, I reached out. I reached out means that you emailed. And it's the absolute worst way to try to get an appointment. Pat Norris, everybody knows Pat, right? Some of you worked with him. Pat Norris in our company, our senior vice president, was working with a Kia dealer. The Kia general manager was upset because he had a computer that was about 7 months old. And this computer was slow. Pat said, let me hop in the chair, scoot over, let me take a look, let me see what's wrong with this thing. Let me ask you a question. Almost 10,000 unopened emails. What makes you think your email is going to get open? Furthermore, when you're dealing with somebody like a car dealer or an attorney, an hard-charging personality, they don't wake up in the morning putting their pants on going, oh, I hope a loser marketing rep comes in to see me today. No, they want a winner. They want someone who can pass the test. They want someone who's going to show up on a Saturday at the car dealership with 3 dozen donuts, shoving business cards in it, chumming them up. They want to see that you're capable of handling their business. They want somebody who can get things inside the market that nobody else can get them and get things inside the building that nobody else can do. So you got to step up and you got to be a hard charger and show these folks that you're capable. Number 3 for AEs. I cannot believe we're standing here at a sales discussion and saying we got to ask for the order. But we do. Because right now when I travel the country, I got to tell you, managers, your folks aren't asking for the orders. They are not taking temperatures. They are not handling objections. They are not doing trial closes. It absolutely boggles my mind how we can end a discussion and have 0 follow-up agreement. They are not closing. How can you do all of this work and put in all of this time and throw it all on the table and then the client says, well, let me think about it. Okay. No. You got to close. Teach account executives to close something so that's a habit every time they go back in. I don't care if they're closing creative. I don't care if it's a digital or a programming concept. I don't care if it's the next appointment. I don't care if it's the door. Train them to close something. Because ultimately, if they aren't closing, whose responsibility is that to get them to close? Right? Since we're talking about managers, let's get into managers. Recruiting. Recruiting is your priority. Here's how I want you to think about recruiting and building a team. You are a general manager of a Major League Baseball team. Your major one priority is to fill that team with folks that can get you to the World Series and win the World Series. Make sense? So let's think that analogy. As managers of sales teams, it's your job to build the team. You've got to build a bench. You've got to know 2 years out, who am I bringing inside the market? Who am I going to get? Who am I going after? If you wait until there's an opening, it's too late. It's too late. And I know we like to think that we recruit and we're out there and we're talking about it, but we are not selling the best people in the marketplace to come over and experience what we have to offer. Here's my recommendation. I want you to go back to your markets and I want you to find the talent. Where is the talent in your market? Are they graduates? Are they insurance sales folks? Are they teachers? What career are they in? Are they competitors across the street? Identify who those folks are. Identify who your next hire is going to be. Get to know them and test them. The gut, we've got too much at risk right now. The gut will only get you so far, but the test will verify if this person is legit or not. And I know some of you are sitting there at the table and you're saying to me, gee, John, I can't afford them. If you had the chance to hire a 100-mile-per-hour Major League Baseball pitcher to close that was going to take you to the World Series, and you're the general manager of the baseball team, would you find the dollars? Guaranteed you would. How can you not afford to hire these folks? Furthermore, I think you've got to look at your compensation plan and figure out, how do we beat the pizza places? These delivery drivers are driving Mercedes, Audis, and BMWs? Who knew? Maybe I picked the wrong career field. But it's competitive out there, so you better pay these folks because sales is a tough game. If it weren't tough, everybody could do it, right? So the reality is, here's another check. Trader Joe's, they pay 2 times what the competition does. No wonder Trader Joe's charges $8 for a bag of chips. But they pay up to 60 grand to their folks. Costco pays 40% more than Sam's. This is what you're up against. Can I be honest with you? I want to be sincerely honest. Your ads absolutely suck. As an industry, we're terrible at recruiting folks when it comes to writing an ad that makes sense to get people to want to come over and see us and work with us. You got to change that. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Here we are in Alabama. We're looking for a digital sales manager. You got to have stations, digital advertising business. You interact with clients. You maximize it. What does that do for me? I don't want to go see these people. Is that a good career move for me? No. Here's another example here in Django Broadcasting in Texas. Here's your priority. You got to generate, manage, grow revenue from local advertisers, agencies, 5-year marketing agency experience, BA, BS. Who's signing up for that gig? Not me. You want to know why you can't find good people? Because they don't want to come to this. Let me show you some things that do work. I love this. Broadcasting and Cable says we're a blowtorch station with a sales team that leaves scorched earth in its wake. Sound like the kind of team you'd like to lead? Hell yeah, sign me up, where are you? This is cool, right? Isn't this better than the other stuff? One of my all-time favorites, one of our partner stations in Orlando. Tired of digging out of the snow? Come to Orlando. Warm winters, beautiful beaches, theme parks, and no state income tax. This is where we need to go. Furthermore, when you're out there in the community and you're talking about, do you want to join our team, you can't be afraid to blur the lines between business and personal. By that I mean nobody does it better than Dave Riva. Dave Riva's general sales manager at the Hearst station in Orlando. Dave gets on LinkedIn, he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he's on all of his social media accounts. You can see in the very top where Dave says, do you know an AE who has peaked at their current TV station? Now what is Dave doing by putting this in LinkedIn with that kind of verbiage? What he's doing is going after friends of folks who are working somewhere else who may not know that they're ready to move somewhere else just yet. So we're not just putting in a classified ad and going after people looking for a job. We're looking for everybody, people that are currently employed, right? What I love here is he said we've got 5 hours of local news a day. We're one of the highest rated in the country. We offer digital products. You can sell both local and national clients with digital. And we have Jim Dolan Associates, state-of-the-art sales training and a fun culture. Notice that tack on at the end, and a fun culture that celebrates wins. Why is fun so important in our business? Because we hire about 70% of the folks that are selling for us are socializers, and they want fun, they want love, they want happy hour, they want food at the sales meetings. That's important. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, if you aren't doing this on your personal stuff, you got to do it. You got to do it. How about Instagram, Snapchat, Meerkat, Periscope? What are these, John? Well, take your camera, your camera phone. You walk around the sales pit, you show people laughing, you show interaction, you show the inside of the station, you show the anchors. You go over to the weather guy, and the weather guy goes, you're going to love working at this station. We need you. Come on in. And post it. It doesn't cost you a dime. And then everybody shares it. And it gets all over the place. It doesn't cost you anything. We're in the TV business, the entertainment business, but we don't entertain. That's how we're going to get people. How about the power of your airwaves? Do you put your recruiting commercials on your own stations? You should, right? To recruit to your viewers? Account executives, if you would for just a second, earmuffs, okay? Do this. Managers, check this out. This was so cool. When I was running stations, and the team who was on fire would come off the gas a little bit, you know when it happens, right? I'd go to the sales manager and say, go to traffic and insert the we're looking for account executive commercial. And the AEs would walk around going, we're hiring somebody, we just made budget, we're hiring somebody, we don't have any place to put them anywhere. Why are we hiring somebody? Oh, I gotta go make some calls. I call that the sales boost effect. You get sales and resumes all with one move. Here's the trump for everything, all right? You have to create an environment where people want to work. If you can do that, you make it fun, you reward, you make it productive for everyone involved, the word gets out and the resume stack gets tall. You work toward that end goal. You learn how to manage the minutiae of the day, but yet make it a fun environment. That's the biggest recruiting tip that I can offer you. Now I want to show you an example of that. Just a couple weeks ago, our friends at Cordillera were putting together a sales contest, and I love when stations get so excited that there's smack talk going on, right? Well, the Cordillera folks put together some videos that they were sharing with each other to kind of get folks motivated. And I want to show you just a clip. I wish we had time for the whole thing, but I want to show you just a minute of the video that KTVQ put out there to intimidate their sister stations that they're going to beat them in sales.
I've never pulled a contract off the facts. Don't wait for a client to call, they won't ever. I have to make my own success. In a four-screen world, I've got reach and frequency. But every client's like magazines, newsprints, yellow pages, outdoor commercials on the radio. They ain't working anymore, we don't care. We're selling digital and TV, and our pitch is like pre-roll, 30 seconds, empty glasses, concentration, broadcast, sponsorship, no more cable penetration, we don't care. We knew Tom Ray when he had hair, and we follow Jim Doyle. Billings is a cut above. We drive a different kind of bus. So come and plant your flag with us. We will be your rulers. We're a challenge 16, and baby we'll rule. And we'll take home all the green.
Come on, give it up. That's great, isn't it? Isn't that cool? So if I'm in the market looking for a job, am I going to respond to the ad that says 5 years experience, you got to work with clients, or am I going to respond to this? This. That's powerful, right? So why don't you do it? Number 2 for managers, new business culture. If your team is going to churn $400,000 at the end of this year, it's not coming back. How much do you have to write to make that up next year? For those of you in your head who said 400,000, at 6:30 this evening, we're having a remedial management 101 in F down here. Look, we're not in a flat world, right? Contrary to popular belief. Flat is not where it's at. Somebody capture that, I've never said that. Flat is not where it's at, right? This is a business where 400,000 loss means a 600,000 makeup. We got to be thinking 600,000, 800,000, or more to make up the 400,000 and still be on track to make the year next year. So where's it coming from? It's not coming from national. It's not coming from regional. It's not coming from the uptick on agency business. It's coming from new local direct business. And if you're truly a station of new business culture, let me tell you, I talk to so many stations across the country and they say, oh man, yeah, we are all about new business. And then I find out 3 AEs don't even write new business. What does all about new business mean if 3 AEs don't write new business? Or they've gone and hired 2 AEs and they're called new business AEs, which are supposed to feed the rest of the team. That is not a new business culture. Ron Westrick, are you in, Ron? I love this statement from Ron Westrick in Fargo. Everyone on the team takes grounders. If you've been here 26 years, 26 days, 26 weeks, you're responsible for new business. If you truly want to create a new business culture, it starts during the recruiting process when you've identified those folks that you want to bring on the team and you set the parameters of expectation. We are about new business, no matter your experience. And then you have to measure it. You have to make sure you hold them accountable for it. Now, I know some of you are sitting there and saying, John, we have a couple of transactional folks. They don't do new business. Well, here's my piece of advice for you. Give them a different title. Because at some point, you're going to get hit with Sally saying, well, that's not fair. Jim never has to write new business, and he's an account executive just like me. Then separate the title if that's what you want to do on the team, okay? Your new business culture has to consist of traditional and digital. It's our belief at Jim Doyle & Associates, when you sell TV, you have to sell digital. When you sell digital, you have to sell TV. Procter & Gamble says it best here. It's not an either or, it's an and. You need a little more ammo? Do you know that if an advertiser is utilizing the power of your TV station and the power of your digital products, prospects, viewers, future clients are 47% more likely to shop them than to go to a competitor? That's a 50% advantage to your clients. And that's all we're trying to do is give them the advantage so they come back for the renewal. It's a nice cycle, right? Lastly, for managers, you have to be the example. Be the example. If you demand perfection, you have to work for perfection yourself. Here's why. AEs aren't listening to what you say. They're watching what you do. and they're watching you all the time, and you don't even know it. So if office hours start at 8 and you show up at 8:20, what time are they showing up? If the sales meeting starts and you're 10 minutes late consistently because you have that important phone call, what time are they showing up for the sales meeting? If you don't invest in personal growth, personal training, personal development, how can you expect the team to do so and force them to read when you aren't even reading, right? If you don't go on calls, or maybe you schedule calls reluctantly with an account executive and an appointment always comes up, or a phone call comes up, or a meeting comes up that you got to handle. You don't want the reputation in the building that you don't go on calls, right? And lastly, this is probably one that you don't think about often, but truly, I hear this all the time. How about comments that don't match your commitment? You say that you're of service, that you value your clients, that they provide you a living at the stations, right? But then when the client gets outside of earshot, you turn the A and go, that guy's a jerk. You can't do that. You can't. See, sales pros, they want to see you aren't afraid to get in the trenches instead of hiding behind a closed door with report deadline excuses. They need to see you active, engaged, energetic, and first in line when it comes to helping them produce new revenue highs. Pretty good quote? I thought so. I took it from this cool book called Engage Management. Is that cheap, selling a book from the stage? Look, I'm not selling from the stage. Here's the deal. You guys have humbled me, the many of you that invested in Volume 1 of Engage Management. Volume 2 comes out in October, assuming I can finish it on the plane on the way back from here. I want you to go back to our booth 8, Jim Doyle & Associates. I want to give you another free book, or I want to give you a free book. So you just tell the ladies or put your business card in there and write on there, I want Volume 1 or I want Volume 2, and we'll make sure you get a free book. Cool? Yeah? Here's what the AEs want. They want a manager that can maintain the game face, no matter what's happening behind the doors, no matter what kind of adversity is going to hit the manager that day. They want you, not as a manager, but as a leader, to be consistent with your game face, someone that they can rely upon to help them in the trenches. It's that simple, maintaining the game face. Can we do it always? I don't know, we're human. And being human, sometimes we get a life-changing phone call and it's tough to maintain the game face. And when I say a life-changing phone call, let me help you understand what I mean by that. It could be something as simple as maybe your boss decided to retire early and it was news to you. Now there's an opening. Are you going to get promoted? Or are you going to have to work for somebody else? Or maybe they got fired. Life-changing phone calls, right? Maybe your station's for sale. Or maybe, I don't know if you guys saw the paper this morning. I know we've all been holed up in here learning and improving ourselves, but here was the header that I saw in the paper this morning. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. How about your top billing AE says, I quit? That's a life changer call. Or worse yet, your top billing AE hooks up with your second billing AE, and they call you to tell you they're going to have 3. Never mind, I don't even want to go down that road. Or it could be a personal life-changing call. You know, God forbid there's a death or a wreck or you know, a divorce, and you've got to cut it down the middle and equally turn those assets over. Equally turn. Here's the deal. When the phone call comes, oh, get out of here. I know you're using it later. When the phone call comes, the life-changing phone call, are you ever prepared for it? I used to think, hey, I'm pretty good. I can prepare for that stuff. I can maintain the game face. And then I figured out I can't be prepared for it. See, my life-changing phone call came almost 2 years ago this October. And I was in the office, and I got a phone call from the insurance company. See, I was 46 years old, and I was 2 months away from being promoted to president of Jim Doyle & Associates, and I thought I'd do something presidential. I'm going to increase my life insurance policy substantially for the family. Before I tell you what the insurance company wanted to know, because there was a hiccup on the phone apparently with my life insurance policy request, I need to give you a little background. My mom, Donna, and my dad, Mike, were high school sweethearts. And they went to prom together. And from what I understand, it must have been a pretty good prom because here I am. They got married right out of high school, and then they were divorced 2 years later. My mom, Donna, last I spoke to her was about 25 years ago. I know she's still alive somewhere in Ohio. She's been divorced about 8 times. She's got some kind of life-threatening disease right now. My dad remarried my stepmom, Katie, when I was 3. And my stepmom pretty much single-handedly raised my 2 stepsisters, my stepbrother, and me, because my dad, with only a high school education, was traveling the country a lot of times trying to find money once the steel plant closed down where we lived. So as a result, we had no money, which explains why I was cutting grass at the age of 7 and 8 trying to get some money and trying to help the family. I mean, that's, it's what it is. I still speak to my mom, Katie, not often, but enough. And my dad, well, he died about 3 years ago. He had a prescription drug abuse problem. So the insurance company, when I filed and wanted this additional life insurance, they said what we'd like to do, given the total here, we would like to get blood from your father. We'd like to get blood from you. We have to go back through the male lineage and find out if there's any kind of medical issue we should be aware of. I said, my dad has passed. Can my stepbrother, the only connection to the male lineage, can he get blood? And they said, that's fine. So my stepbrother Andy gave blood, I gave blood. We sent it up to the insurance company, and so I just assumed when the insurance company calls and said there was an issue with approving the policy, that the blood sample was lost somewhere in the mail. I was wrong. The voice on the other end of the line said, Mr. Hannon, are you sure that your brother Andy is indeed your brother? And I said, yeah, pretty confident. Andy's my stepbrother. And they said, Mr. Hannon, with 99%, a little more than 99% DNA certainty, you and your brother Andy are not from the same male lineage. Now, let me connect the dots here. That means if Andy's not related to me, that's not my dad. 46 years old and I find this out. A shocker, right? Because everything, if you've not experienced this before, I don't know how many have, but everything before then kind of disappears. What does the name Hannon mean? I don't know. I thought I was German-Irish. Go figure. What am I? Where did I come from? Who are these people I don't know? Everything kind of, did you see Back to the Future when it changes and the people kind of, that's what was going on in my head. And that's tough to wrap your head around. So what do we need to do in those instances? We want to talk to someone that we can confide in, who can work us through the issue. And my best friend is my wife, Bridget. And I say that with all sincerity. We started dating at 15 or 16. We've been together 33 years. We've been married for a little over 23. She knows me. She gets me. She's able to smooth it out. So I gather my stuff. I hop in the car. I'm headed home. I got to talk this through with Bridget. I live in Sarasota. Pretty cool place to live near the ocean, right? As I'm driving down the road, I'm looking in the rearview mirror to change lanes. And I stop and I'm going, why am I smiling? I just got shocker news that I don't know how to handle. Why am I smiling as I look in the rearview mirror? And then it hits me. Wow, look around. You're in a midlife crisis sports car convertible. You got salt air hitting you in the face. Your blonde surfer locks are flying in the wind. You're going home to see your best friend. You got 3 kids that you absolutely love. We're in a house that was only in magazines when I was a kid. I've got 2 dogs, one I love, one I hate. Right? I should have been poor, broke, no college education, in jail. And I beat the odds. And at that moment it occurred to me, the rearview mirror is really small because it matters not what is behind you. The past is not indicative of your future. It's not going to indicate how successful you're going to be in the future. Some of the most successful people that I've encountered in my life are folks who have had some kind of adversity, some kind of issue in life that they had to overcome, and as a result, it made them stronger and bigger than they ever thought possible in their life. They don't live in a rearview mirror mentality. But as I kept driving, I kept thinking this through, and I'm going, man, I cannot believe I'm smiling. I beat it. The rearview mirror, and now the windshield. The windshield is there for people who are looking for opportunity. because all of these great things are coming at you. And you have to be prepared to reach out, grab them, take advantage of them on your timetable, and deliver something that's bigger, better than you ever thought possible for you, for your family, for your environment at work, for everything around you. The rearview mirror, this small. The windshield, this big. So I would encourage you this week, as you continue to learn how to prepare, as you continue to learn how to better yourself for you and for those around you, stop with the rearview mirror thinking and commit yourself to windshield view opportunity grabs. That's the spirit of the convention this week. That's the spirit of Ignite. And I've got to tell you, I'm so thankful and so humble to be a part of it.